I'd like to call to order the Plan Commission meeting for April 2nd, 2025 at 6 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Attendance roll call.
Commissioner Groff.
Here.
Commissioner Oliver.
Here.
Alderman Kubacki. Here. Commissioner Cieslak.
Here.
Commissioner Buckmaster is absent. Commissioner Bartlett.
Here.
Mayor Petfalski.
Here.
And Planner Trezbetowski.
Here. Thank you. We have a quorum. Statement of public notice.
The agenda was posted and distributed to all news media requesting notification in accordance with the open meeting laws on Friday, March 21st.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes. In front of you, you have the minutes from the March 4th, 2025 Plan Commission meeting.
Move to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Public hearing. Public hearing for a renewal of a conditional use grant in accordance with Section 14 of the City of Muskego zoning ordinance for Payne and Dolan for the purpose of continued mining and processing of sand and gravel and the extraction of use of an asphalt plant at the northwest corner of Crowbar Road and Janesville Road in the northeast quarter and southeast quarter of Section 13, tax key number 2230996, West 217, South 8425, Crowbar Road. Adam, want to explain what we got?
Thank you, Mayor. Yep, this is our annual review for Payne and Dolan. One of the conditions we have in their original approval, and it kind of relates to some DNR processes we have to recertify them each year. We have an annual review and a public hearing, do a quick review of the site, which obviously is not really busy this time of the year, but the site's always clean, kept well within compliance with what they're supposed to do. We have proper bonds on file for reclamation eventually when they are done mining this area, and we've seen no concerns. So this is just a chance for any public to voice their concerns.
Is there anyone here from the public that wishes to be heard? Please come up, give your name, address, and speak your piece.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Brianna Buckles. I'm with Payne and Dolan. The address is N3W23650 Badinger Road, Waukesha, Wisconsin. Like Adam said, we're just here to request a renewal of our existing conditional use permit. We didn't receive any complaints this year. I don't think the city received any complaints regarding our operation as well. And as you may know, last year we did notify you guys that we were going to be running at night out of our Muskego asphalt plant. And that was a part of the I-894 project where we had the full lane closures to pave for, I think, 2 to 4 nights. That we actually ran all of the night work out of our Waukesha asphalt plant and then had the Muskego asphalt plant as backup since we had that full closure. Then Muskego was ready to run at a moment's notice. So luckily, Waukesha did everything well, no breakdowns, so we didn't actually end up needing to use the Muskego asphalt plant. We did a simple test strip, but that was it. And we plan on possibly doing the same thing this year, using Waukesha asphalt plant with Muskego as a backup. So if we do, we'll provide proper notification to the city and the sheriff's department like we always do. Other than that, status quo. Like I said, no complaints, no concerns here. Let me know if you have any questions.
Any questions for the petitioner? No. It's a public hearing, really can't, but that's fine. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to be heard on this? I will declare this part of the public hearing for the Payne and Dolan closed then. Public hearing for the conditional use in accordance with the Muskego zoning ordinance for the purpose of allowing auto sales and auto service in an existing multi-tenant building located in the Muskego Business Park, located at South 83, West 18346 Saturn Drive, tax key number 2223001. Adam.
Thank you, Mayor. This is for MKE Motor Cars. They're a new auto sales and service establishment that is looking at kind of working with and subleasing from Blue Line Auto, which is currently located across the street in the industrial park. So like I said, in this zoning district, it's kind of more recently come to our attention that any auto sales or any auto service need a conditional use grant, hence why we're here for this hearing tonight. They will be utilizing kind of existing areas that are already allocated for parking of cars, and we can talk about that a little bit more when we get to that agenda item tonight.
Thank you. Is anyone here from the public wishing to be heard on this matter? Going once, twice. I'll declare that public hearing closed. Public hearing and for a conditional use grant in accordance with the Muskego zoning ordinance for the purpose of allowing auto sales and auto service in an existing multi-tenant building located in the Muskego Business Park located at West 184 South 8365 Challenger Drive, tax key number 22239940004. Adam.
Thank you, Mayor. This is for the applicant of Works Autosport. This business has been in this location previously, so this isn't really a new use to that site. It's just that they are kind of under some zoning reinterpretations. They're getting their formal approvals for the auto service as well as getting the approval to allow potential auto sales if they would like it. So it's a site that's already had approved auto uses. They're kind of just clarifying it a little bit and possibly expanding a little bit with minimal car sales.
Thank you. Anyone here from the public wishing to be heard on this public hearing? Don't all rush up. Single file line. I will declare this part of the public hearing closed. Consent business, resolution PC 015-2025, renewal of a conditional use grant for the purpose of continued mining and processing of sand and gravel in the extension of use of an asphalt plant for Payne and Dolan on Crowbar Road, tax key 2230996, resolution PC 019-2025, approval of a temporary outdoor garden center located for Kurt Holtz at Elliott's Ace Hardware, located at South 64 West 15732 Commerce Center Parkway, tax key 21699990007, resolution PC 020-2025, approval of a temporary outdoor garden center for Paul's Pedal Pushers at Piggly Wiggly, located at West 189, South 7847, Racine Avenue, tax key 2192973.
Move to approve and gross. I'll second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously. Old business for consideration, resolution PC 010-2025, approval of a one-time review for Fleet Farm located at West 195 South 6460 Racine Avenue, tax key number 2177996.
Move to approve. Second.
Discussion, Adam?
Thank you, Mayor. So this item was for the annual review, which was supposed to be a one-time review for Fleet Farm. We realized that they never had their final occupancy, so there were a few items on site that they had to address. After sending some correspondence to the store, we're at the point now where they are in compliance. I can happily say that everything that was a concern has fully been taken care of, and as such, we are recommending approval of this resolution. What I would probably suggest, just for having a clean resolution on record, we may want to add a be it further resolved statement that acknowledges their compliance. Since this was already on the floor, we need to have that amended. Another thing the Plan Commission can choose to discuss was if you want to do another review, since there were some non-compliant issues this year and it was meant to only be a one-time. Do we want to end that one-time review here, or do we want to do it next year to be sure? That's really up to the Plan Commission. Right now, the resolution is written as it ends here. So those will just be two discussion points.
All right. Any questions, comments?
Is this an annual review?
It was meant to be a one-time review after being in operation for about a year.
I will need a amendment stating what Adam stated for the resolution.
What were the non-compliance issues?
There was some storage behind the building, like pallets, extra carts, some like racks that maybe vendors for like different food distributors leave there. And I know the store senses work with them to kind of basically say, hey, take them with you, or, get them picked up more regularly. There was some concerns with some stuff that was for sale by the pumps that they were allowed if they were like on curbed areas, but they chose not to do the curbed areas. There was a question with an ice bin that wasn't matching the building color, which they chose to either relocate inside or remove if there are other ice sales on site. So it was exterior things. They had, I think, one item of outdoor storage in a spot that wasn't where it was supposed to be. Very minor items. There were a couple of them, but they were very minor items.
Okay, thank you. During the course of the year, were there any complaints or anything?
There were not, no. It was just things that we had from our temporary occupancy inspection that lingered over.
I kind of think, adding a yearly visit isn't a bad thing for a business, just to kind of keep everything in line, in my opinion.
We typically don't, but it's up to you guys. Do we want to at least make the amendment to state that everything, what was the wording you needed?
I would just say that the site is in compliance as of the date of this meeting.
That's fine. I'll make that motion.
Could I get a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion on the motion to amend? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, the amendment to the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Any further discussion on the motion as amended? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes unanimously. Thank you. New business for consideration, Resolution PC 016-2025, recommendation to the Common Council to amend the zoning map and 2020 comprehensive plan for the city of Muskego for 3 vacant lots for Darrell Borchard of the Oak Ridge Glen subdivision located along Hackberry Hill Court, tax key numbers 2172070, 2172076, and 2172077.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Adam?
Thank you. So this is a request that this very east side of the Oak Ridge Glen subdivision originally had, it was approximately, I think, 14 lots that were zoned as multifamily. They were originally intended to be kind of a buffer between the single family to the west and the potential commercial on the Bossy farm to the east. Last year, later in the year, the developer of the subdivision did ask to rezone the 2 northernmost lots within this multifamily area to single family because they're having more demand from single family home buyers that are looking to build in here. So those 2 lots were approved as single family. So out of that 14, it went down to 12 then. Right now, they're looking for an additional 3. So this request is for the 3 lots you see in red on the map that are being requested to be zoned from the multifamily back to single family. These areas are adjacent to existing single families on the west of each of them, so they're not like a little donut island sitting out there. 2 of them are adjacent to the church to the south. 1 of them is adjacent to the future commercial land to the east, but there are no commercial plans specifically on that site at this time. So this request is to rezone those 3 lots from multifamily to single family and then also change the land use maps accordingly.
Discussion, questions?
The only question I had on this was, so then there's lots that remain here that are multi-use or multifamily?
Yeah, so basically the easternmost, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots that are kind of in between the 2 red lots, everything that's in the east there, the center, those are still multifamily. And then the 4 that are on the west side of the street, those are also still multifamily. I've kind of talked with the developer that it sounds like at some point he may ask for some more. I think he's kind of thinking of his big plan, what he's going to do or not do. But yeah, there are still, would be 9 lots that are left as single family right now, or multifamily, excuse me, if this would be approved.
The original goal of Common Council when we did this 20-some years ago was we thought the business park would actually go in before the houses, and putting multifamily in as a buffer makes more sense. Actually, I'm sorry, the other way around. We thought the residential would go before but if you put multifamily in, and then as the business comes in later, multifamily tends to complain less and have understanding that it is a buffer.
I guess I remember the last request, and obviously there's still some future development that could happen out in the field at that point. I see us addressing screening along the backs of this, whether it's multifamily or single family.
We've talked to the developer, we've talked to some prospective lot buyers and made them aware, very bluntly aware what could be there, and they've all understood that, and some of them actually prefer that to having houses behind them. We've also noted, just like is behind Walmart and Kohl's, there are very successful ways with berms and screening to keep the uses very separate still if needed.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Resolution PC 017, 2025, approval of a conditional use grant and building site and operation plan for MKE Motors located at South 83 West 18346 Saturn Drive, tax key number 2223001.
Move to approve.
Second.
Adam.
As was mentioned, this one is for MKE Motor Cars. Like I said, this is a space that's in a multi-tenant building that they're basically subleasing from Blue Line Auto. As part of this proposal, there's 2 spaces in the front of the leased area that will be for vehicle sales, as well as there's some kind of like extra parking in the back, is which where the employees could be, as well as there is some interior space that could be used as a showroom, which was also where any of the mechanical work would also happen if need be. And there's 3 spaces that were identified in the back specifically for that servicing staging. So staff is recommending approval. This is typical with a lot of our other auto uses in this location.
Questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Resolution PC 018, 2025, approval of a conditional use grant and building site operation plan amendment for Works Auto Sports located at West 184 South 8365 Challenger Drive, tax key number 22239940004.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Adam.
Thank you. So as was noted, this is for another auto use. This space is just down the road from the other location. This space has housed auto uses before. Due to a way we kind of used to interpret the zoning code, and being that there was just only repairs here, it didn't really go through a hearing process or conditional use, but kind of after looking at the code a little finer, we realized that a conditional use was needed. So the owners are kind of choosing on their own to come forward with that to help clean things up, even though they didn't have to. So that's appreciated, to do things the right way, as well as they do want to also have the ability for possible auto sales if they want. So there's a few stalls noted for that down the road if need be, but there's plenty of other parking on the site. So staff is recommending approval. Conditions in the resolution.
Any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Resolution PC 021, 2025, approval of a metal accessory structure, Daniel Chaltry of Everlast Structures on behalf of Ed Herda, located at West 145 South 9685 Groveway Lane, tax key number 2261980.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Adam.
Thank you, Mayor. This proposal is for a new accessory structure on the site. The reason it's in front of the Plan Commission tonight specifically is due to its metal exterior materials. It is located at the very dead end, the southern end of Groveway Lane, bordered by the west by a lake and woods. To the south is really just wetland, lowland, and forest. East is the roadway with the one house across the street, and there is a home to the north, but there is some pretty decent trees in the area kind of separating it. So they're looking at placing this building back behind the home. It definitely does have some architectural features, as you'll see in the plan. Has a small little covered area. Definitely gives it some nice character. The building itself is just a little over 1,100 square feet. One of the things that was recently noted is that they are planning on keeping the existing accessory building, which is kind of just south of this one, which that's not an issue, as both buildings seem to both be within the size allowance allowed for the total property, and they are allowed the 2 outbuildings. We just have a few conditions noted in the resolution. One of them specifically, just because they are going right to the extent of the lot line offset, making sure we get a survey to be sure we know where the lot line is and make sure the building is properly placed. We note that the building can't be used for any kind of business storage, business activities. Otherwise, the typical conditions of approval are included. We are recommending approval.
Questions or comments?
So it's 275 feet from Groveway Lane? It's quite a ways.
Yeah, it's definitely quite a ways back. And like I said, limited neighbors on the sides, along with that north side. That north side is the only home that could possibly see it, and there's some pretty dense woods around there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, my only comment would just be that consistency. So just to have it on record, again, we're approving this and not forcing exterior materials in a pure match or something that's more expensive, because it's far off the road, not very visible, highly screened, behind the existing house, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and I think a good thing to note too is I think it's 3 lots to the north or so was a similar waiver granted with similar reasoning and conditions. So it just, it won't be the first in the area.
Other shed is going to be demolished.
Yeah, and they've changed it. It's probably going to stay, but it's within the size allowance, so that doesn't really change anything. There was also some talk about shifting the building, I think, a few feet to the east, but once again, we'll take care of that at the permitting stage.
Any other questions or comments? I want a garage this size.
Who wouldn't?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. There is no miscellaneous business. A motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned at 6:22.
All right.